National Honesty Day, Tony. Say something honest, please.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Northwestern was my safety school. That's funny.
Okay, it's not. That would make it National Liars Day.
No, that was funny. No, Northwestern was not my safety school. I didn't even bother to apply. I didn't want to go there. I thought it'd be much better to go to Harvard College.
No, you only want to go there now. As an adult, you like to go there.
Gorgeous. I loved it. When we were there last year, I loved it. It's an absolutely beautiful school. It really is. Harsh in the winter, though.
All right, time for your MBA, Tony. Your MBA at Kellogg.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Sixers even it up. Home runs are at a record pace, and Dwayne Haskins wants Joe Theismann's number. But we begin today with the news that NBA ref Scott Foster will officiate the Golden State-Houston game tonight. As is customary, the NBA announces the names of the refs the day of the game. Foster is relevant because James Harden, Chris Paul, and the entire Rockets organization hates him. Harden was fined for public criticism of Foster. The Rockets lose all the time when Foster refs. Wilbon, is Foster's presence a significant factor in tonight's game?
Well, Tony, the fact that we're talking about it means yes, even though this was not determined on the off day yesterday.
Right.
They didn't call him Scott Foster like on a golf course somewhere and say, Scott, we're tired of the Rockets yapping, even though, by the way, that is the case for a large part of people in the NBA, some in New York. And they didn't do that because this is determined before the series. But, Tony, once this was out there, it's like, oh, my God, the Rockets' heads are going to explode. They have studies. They have a paper. They have sheets. They have experts all saying that Scott Foster is doomed for them. And now I don't expect it to be that way. I expect the Rockets to play. I expect Scott Foster to do his best A-plus job of trying to officiate this game.
I'm going to tell you this, that I look at the Rockets and I see a team that whines all the time. James Harden whines. Chris Paul whines. Your boy Daryl Morey, who prepares reams of paper indicating that Scott Foster costs you 18.6 points in a particular game, whines all the time. And I think it will be an honestly played and honestly ref game. But, Mike, I worry that he's in their heads. He's in their heads. And that could be 5-6 points. That could be the game.
Okay, you're right. I know. That's the first thing I thought of, too. But you know how these playoff games work. I mean, now the Rockets will really have to lock in and lock down and play their best game, and I expect them to do that. And maybe Golden State has a little chuckle because they think the Rockets whine.
Yes.
And they'll say, here's Scott Foster. Let's carry him in on a chair so that it will drive Harden crazy.
Let me give you a few numbers here. The Rockets are 0-6 in the last 6 that Foster reffed. Harden has fouled out 4 times in the last 265 games, 3 times with Foster. The last game that Foster officiated, both Harden and Chris Paul fouled out. I mean, I would hate to see this guy if I was them. I'd be afraid of this.
Having said that, what do you think will happen tonight?
I think it will be an honestly played and honestly officiated game. I like Golden State just because I like Golden State. But I would worry if I were a fan of Houston. I would worry. Oh my God, he'll be in their heads. He'll be in their heads.
Worried. Yeah. I mean, they're going crazy.
By the way, people should know this. There's not just one ref on the court. It's not just him, and he's a good ref.
He is. This is so much. This is I'm not a fan, so I can just say, oh my God, this is so delicious. I can't wait to get there.
It is.
Tony, you're not going to get out of talking about last night, big boy. Specifically, Philly and Toronto. I told you my Game 2 money was on Jimmy Butler, evening this series, and that's exactly what happened. Butler, with 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, played pretty much dead even with Kawhi Leonard, and the Sixers even this series one apiece. You had the Raptors in a walk after Game 1, so I need to know if this game changes your outlook on the series.
I will concede that it does change it a little bit, although it's important to point out to people that in both the NBA and the NHL, in the second round of playoffs, there are better teams, their abilities are closer together, and so 1-1 in series is more common even than 2-0, and we would both understand that. I thought that they would win, Toronto would win, because the Sixers could not contain Kawhi Leonard. And in fact, Kawhi Leonard had 35 points on 13 of 24. That's a
very
great
efficient
game.
He had a great game.
What killed Toronto was that Mark Gasol, I want to get this right, and Danny Green played 35 and 32 minutes and totaled 8 points, Mike.
They couldn't hit shots, Tony.
And the entire bench produced two baskets in a whole game. So Kawhi Leonard is not at fault. He had no support.
No.
He had no support. Right.
But all I said was Jimmy Butler was going to play him even.
He played great.
This is what Butler has been able to do in playoff series against even, sometimes, a guy on the universe, on the planet better than Kawhi Leonard, and that guy would have been LeBron James. So Butler's been in these games, and he understands, okay, some nights I can't stop this guy. And being a great two-way player, he can even it out or come close to evening it out and giving his team a chance to win, particularly when he's got that group of starting five running with him. So the series, of course, is even. Now Philadelphia, at least nominally, gets to have home court advantage for a minute and a half, and it's probably going to be, the games are probably going to be split in Philly. We're looking at a long series, Tony, which is what I expected from John.
Here's what bothers me.
What?
Toronto is a bad, choking playoff team in recent years.
Different guys, Tony.
Well, not all different. So, to me, a loss like this may affect them more negatively than some other team that had a better history in the playoffs. And I still like them, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Long series, 6-7 games.
There's a piece in today's LA Times that chronicles UCLA's struggle to come up with a basketball coach. In it, there's a great little nugget about Rick Barnes, who publicly said the reason he stayed at Tennessee is because UCLA would not pay for his buyout clause. This piece says UCLA agreed to pay the buyout and Barnes agreed to take the job. But then he came back for more salary and UCLA walked away. So then Barnes tried to get the first deal back. Wilbon, how does Barnes look now?
Wasn't there some guy, an author, maybe a journalist, who had a book and the title was "I'm Back for More Cash"?
Yes, it was me.
Do I get that? Do I have
good
that
title.
Right?
Yeah, good title.
So Rick Barnes took a page out of your book.
Yeah.
I know he took the whole book and he said, "I'm back for more cash." And they said, "Get out." This is amazing, Tony. I love these stories where boosters essentially run the place. I'm a booster of a school. We don't have that. But apparently at UCLA they do. And now Rick Barnes, he needs to start like 15-0 at Tennessee.
Yes.
Or he's going to get fired there.
Yes.
And he will be back for more cash. He'll be looking at it in Bristol, talking to our bosses for a spot as an analyst because he'll be off of a bench if he's not careful.
So I want to use the word very carefully here. This is a disaster for Rick Barnes. A disaster. He extorted Tennessee to pay him more money even than the football coach at Tennessee. And he told the people in Tennessee how much he loved the people in Tennessee. And now they find out he wanted that job and he was going to take that job. So he's essentially got to go on an apology tour all throughout the state of Tennessee.
That ain't going to work. Is that going to work?
This is so bad for a guy we like. We know a long time.
Yes, and
but you're right.
By the way,
15-0. Start fast.
With a terrific record
He's
everywhere he goes. He's a great coach.
Yes.
But Tony, listen, in Tennessee, they're not necessarily leaning over backward to forgive the basketball coach.
They're not going to be tolerant of this. They are not. They are going to feel that he lied to them, insulted them, and slapped them around. It's not good.
By the way, did the UCLA people do the right thing?
By turning their back on him ultimately?
Yes.
No, because he's a good coach.
He's a terrific coach.
They should have made the deal. Should have made the deal.
Tony, a full month of Major League Baseball has been played now, which means the numbers geeks have something to dig their teeth into. And the first real revelation is that, once again, home runs aren't just up, they're through the proverbial roof. For instance, the Orioles are on pace to give up 394 home runs this season, when the all-time record in 140 years of Major League Baseball is 258. Nearly 1/3 of the clubs in the league are on pace to have a record home run season. So is this something baseball should be happy about or concerned with?
Well, first of all, the people who should be concerned are the Orioles pitchers, because they should be out of here quickly. They have given up, just to set the record straight, 73 in 30 games at the moment. All right, so
in a month.
Let me get to this question, because home runs have been around for a long time. I'm going to go back to 1998 and that great Nike commercial. The Nike commercial, which was at the height of what we later learned was the steroid home run era. And they show you two Cy Young winners, Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux, working at batting practice, working to knock it out. And the end of the commercial, it says, chicks dig the long ball. Now, you're not going to make that commercial now for a variety of reasons. But my point is that home runs are a big deal in baseball, have always been a big deal in baseball. I do not worry about this. I wish there was more contact hitting. But, Mike, when a guy gets a barrel of a bat on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, it's going out. Or you're striking out or it's going out.
Tony, I'm going to disagree with you just on this basis. I go to a lot of Major League Baseball games as a fan. And I think that baseball has never been more boring.
Really?
People don't
You don't find home runs memorable? Because I do.
Tony, it's either home runs or strikeouts.
Right.
And you know what? I mean, I go to a ballpark where balls fly out, Wrigley Field. It isn't as exciting as 1998. It's not. And I know the steroids were at the base of that. I get that. It's not as exciting as 1988. Because, Tony, there's not enough balls in play. There's not enough action in the games. You sit around and wait for a home run, and you sit some more.
Don't you think it's possible? Don't you think it's possible this is a phase we go through, and then somebody comes up with a way to win the World Series that involves contact hitting and playing small ball, maybe it works?
I hope. How long we gotta wait?
Yeah.
We gotta wait years or just to October? I mean, if you help me out here.
We're in a cycle now. now. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins, the Washington Redskins' top draft pick, wore number 7 at Ohio State. The last quarterback to wear number 7 for the Redskins was Joe Theismann, more than 30 years ago. In deference to Theismann, a Super Bowl winner, nobody has been given number 7 since. Haskins told the NFL Network, quote, "I got to talk to Mr. Theismann first before I get that number," unquote. Wilbon, does Haskins need Theismann's permission to wear number 7?
Yes. And my feeling is he'll get it. And more importantly, this is the first feel-good story that has come about around the Washington Redskins, the first fun story in 20 years. There is no fun, there is no joy whatsoever coming out of that headquarters. You and I know this because we covered it and we still live there. And if you can get Joe Theismann, if you get a local kid, and he's my neighbor, and he says, "Mr. Theismann, I'd like to do this." We know Joe Theismann all of our adult lives. And my bet, without having talked to Joe, is Joe will bless this. That kid will wear number 7, and the Washington Redskins will start September with the first feel good around that franchise in forever.
We should tell people we know Theismann well, worked with Theismann over a long period of time. I certainly did at Monday night.
Love Joe. First professional athlete I ever got to know.
Joe Theismann can block this.
He could
go to Dan Snyder and he could say, "I don't want this." He won't do that.
No, he won't.
He will be the good guy in this.
Yes.
They'll put their arms around each other.
Yes.
They'll each wear number 7 and pose for pictures. And you're 100% right. This is a perfect story for them. The Redskins have only retired one number 33 for Sammy Baugh. But nobody's gotten 9 for Sonny Jurgensen.
That's right.
Let's go through some of these numbers. 44 for Riggins. Nobody's had it. Nobody's had 28 for Darryl Green.
For
Sean Taylor, nobody's going to have 21. In this case, Haskins is acting correctly, and Theismann will be good about this, right?
By the way, what about 17? Is anybody going to get that?
I don't know. That I don't know. Let's take a break.
He didn't play there that long, but he won a Super Bowl.
Coming up is Damian Lillard or Nikola Jokic, the player you want in their series.
And is Giannis right that the Bucks don't need to make any adjustments whatsoever heading into tonight's game 2?
Doug Williams works for the team. I think he'll say yes if someone wants it.
Yeah.
Pardon the interruption.